Hope you can hear me. Hope you can hear me. This is probably going to be a first, but so I did some math equations here. I always keep a notebook handy, and I always write down and keep track of dates, how much money you spend, where it's going, what you're doing with it, the prices of the market, what the stock market's doing, what crypto's doing, what the price of things at the store are. Uh, Like for example, I just paid $1.50 for an onion at the store the other day, and I remember when I was a kid, onions were like 89 cents, not even 90 cents. And yeah, so I got my old iPhone here because I'm not paying five, six, $700 for a new iPhone. I don't want to finance anything. I want to be completely out of debt, debt free, sovereign. So there's a high-rise apartment complex down the street, and I'm in the cheapest, poorest area of the city in Ohio. Extremely poor. Government's got money for wars, but they ain't got money to feed the poor, just like Tupac said. So I did a breakdown right here. I wrote down and kept track of working a 9 to 5 job, 40 hours a week, what it gets you, and is it worth it? So I went online, I looked at the prices of these apartments. For a 750 square foot apartment, it has two little bedrooms. One bedroom's great, you could turn it into like an office or a studio or something to do like some side gig. When you get home at 6, 7, cook for an hour, take a shower, clean, do whatever laundry. But I looked it up for 750 square feet in the poorest, cheapest apartment I could find. It's pretty nice, high rise, got a view of the city, but you get one parking space, no storage, nice little balcony, just a basic apartment. And it's where I am, the cheap ones are $1,200 a month. Now, $1,200 a month sounds cheap, but I'm going to break it down for you and do the math. And all of you people that are living out there already know. So, you need your first or security deposit. You need to pay your filing fee, application fee. So right off the bat, $1,200 times 2 for your first month is $2,400. $150 filing fee at this place, so you need $2,550 just to qualify and move in. You need proof of income, ID, background check. You need a good credit score or have some sort of something to back you up to prove that you're going to be able to make the payments every month. So just to be generous, I put down the electric bill probably at $150 to run the blower for the thing, the air conditioner, the HVAC, the heat, maybe a computer or a television or a Wi-Fi router and your lighting, maybe a fan, just basic stuff. So I said $150 a month for electric. The internet bill, I'm being generous. I'm saying $50 a month, just because you don't have to get an Xfinity or anything like that. You can just get a normal phone bill and just use the mobile hotspot on your phone to have internet. And it's mobile, so you can take it in your car, go to the park, have internet or whatever. It's better than Xfinity and cable and all of that. Let's say your trash and your water. I just throw $100 on there. It's probably more like 85, maybe. But I said 100 because I don't know if you got to deal for recycling, what the trash is like at these places. Gasoline for your car is roughly $40 a week, 4 weeks in a month. That's, let's say, $160 for gasoline to drive to and from work. Food at the store, I was pretty generous for like your toothpaste, your soap, your laundry detergent, baby wipes, shampoo, food. Like I said, an onion, I just paid $1.50 for an onion. So I was generous. I put $100 a week for food at the store. Your car insurance, Me, I have great insurance. I'm a 10-year vet. I've had them forever. I've never missed a payment, never had an accident, never had a claim. So my insurance is pretty reasonable. It's about $100 a month to insure my vehicle. Um, let's say storage. You want to get a little tiny storage unit at this place. It's $60, and that's to store just like any tools you have. If you work as a mechanic or need somewhere to put tools, or whatever profession you have, if you're doing a side gig and you want to just have an actual little tiny storage spot to keep things in, that's an extra $60. It's the same for a parking spot. If you, let's say you have a second vehicle, or you're living with a girlfriend that needs somewhere to park her car, it's $60 for that parking space just to put their car when you have a guest. So, I mean, I know not too many people have guests coming over to their apartment very often, but there's no parking at this place. You get one parking spot, and you can't like block people in or anything. It's you're better off walking and not even having a car. Your heating, your gas bill for the furnace, because it's freezing, it's like 16 degrees. I was generous. I put that at $50 a month for your gas bill. Laundry, this place is so small it doesn't have a washer or a dryer, so you have to go and use the laundromat, which is probably like $2 a week. I used to use the laundromat where you go into this place and you just drop it off, and the lady does everything for you, and you just give her a $5 tip. It's like $15 a week to wash the clothes. It's not terrible. I did laundry out of a 5-gallon bucket. You just put a little bit of soap in there, fill it up with water, wash it by hand, wring it out, let it soak for 15 minutes, and then dump it out, fill it with fresh water, wash your clothes, and then you just hang them up on your shower curtain where your shower curtain is in your bathroom. You just hang your clothes up to dry to save money. I've did that for over 5 years. So I put all of these expenses right here. I don't know if you can see it. My handwriting's terrible. I only write capital letters because it's how we're taught where I am, only capital letters. I don't even know how to write lowercase. But I have that at $1,980 a month, which sounds great, right? You get your own little apartment, your own little space, your little room, your little shoebox. It's not terrible. Get a nice little view out back on the balcony. It's a roof over your head. You're paying for yourself. But I just did the math here. If you're making $20 an hour, that leaves you $800 a week. Roughly between 20 to 30% of that goes towards your Social Security, your income tax, depending on the state, any state taxes, stuff like that. That leaves you anywhere between $600 to $650 a week to spend. And so you take the $650 a week take home in your pocket every week for working 40 hours times 4. That leaves you with $2,600 a month. And you subtract $1,980 from that, and that's being very generous. That leaves you with about $620 a month that you actually get a pocket. Now that sounds like decent money, roof over your head and everything, but you divide that by 4 because there's roughly 4 weeks in a month. And February is a scam. There's only 28 days in February. Our calendar's trash. That's a whole nother story. Did I even divide 620 by 4? Yes, I did. It leaves you with $155 a week. So let me ask you guys this. Is it worth getting up at 6, 7 o'clock every morning, cup of coffee, donut, grab it, go, 20 minutes to work, drive, park, make sure you have gas every Friday, let's say you take an hour for a lunch, which is generous. I mean, usually a lunch break is 20, 30 minutes. Even 10 years of my life, I didn't even eat lunch. I would just skip lunch for 10 years and just eat one meal a day, dinner. And that was like my meal for the day. But let's say let's say you take a lunch break and you get off at 5, 6 o'clock p.m., drive home, another 20, 30 minutes through traffic. That's generous, saying you don't live too far from your work. Um, like I said, you get home, shower, everything. That leaves you, let's say you got to go to bed at 11 p.m., 12 o'clock, midnight, even 1 in the morning, maybe the latest, because you got to have 6, 7, at least 8 hours of sleep just to stay healthy and regenerate for the next day. You get 2 days off. Your Saturdays and Sundays are off. You can work overtime, but most of these places aren't going to pay you for overtime. Yeah, so is working a full-time job leaving you with $150 a week to save pocket after paying for your gas, your food, your insurance, your little apartment, everything? Is all of that worth $150 a week? You have to ask yourself a question. People are like, oh, you don't have a choice, this and that. I'm like, you always have a choice. We have public places. We have public parks. We have public property. There are people living, there's like 6 million Americans living out of their car. You can get water for free at the park. You can get a little propane thing of gas for $8 and screw it onto a little portable hot water heater and have hot showers out in the middle of the woods. You get free water from the river or the creek or wherever you're at. Food, like I said, internet right here, mobile hotspot, the best thing you can get. Starlink Mobile, but even that's like over $100 a month right now. But it's really dedicating all of the time, not all, you get weekends off, Saturday and Sunday, but it's dedicating your entire week towards an employer for $20 an hour. Really worth it when all you have is $150. And I'm not talking about like if you have a hospital bill or I got a piece of metal in my eyeball one time working on the job, and I had to go pay like a couple $100 to get the metal taken out of my eye. I've had heat stroke working in a 120-degree shop, heat stroke before, which is not terrible. You just get a little tired. You feel like you're going to pass out and fall asleep. You just take a little nap, drink some water. Stay out of the air conditioning, just get in the shade. It's not terrible, but I've had what do they call it? My kidneys swell up from dehydration, not drinking enough water. I've had that happen. Just all these things, and you got to think is really dedicating all your time and working with toxic chemicals and painting and having to like wear a mask, and they're like, oh, wear the mask. Well, the masks don't work because when you're breathing, the seal around here, just every time you breathe, you just suck in air from around the mask. Even though you have it all tight, secure and everything, you're breathing in paint fumes. So after you're done painting for the day, you take it off, you're a little lightheaded, all of that, and you got to scrape the paint. Take a tissue and scrape the paint out of your nose. Because I've worked all these jobs, and let me tell you, I wasn't getting paid no 20 an hour. No, and when COVID happened, it really woke me up to what's going on, because it's crazy how you can go from 15 an hour overnight to 20 an hour within like a year or two. Like it's just crazy to me. So you're telling me, if I would have just like hung out for 2 years and did nothing, that I could have just waited for the minimum wage to go up? I could have just hung out for 2 years, did nothing, not worked to nothing, and made an extra 25% more an hour just by doing nothing, just hanging out, waiting for the inflation to hit and the price of everything to go up. Just wait. I mean, this isn't making any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense at all. Once you start to figure out where money comes from, where it's going, how it's being used, how people are being taken advantage of, and I'm not blaming the employers. We're all in this together. We're all to blame. I'm to blame for working for such cheap wages. I'm to blame myself. I always bust my ass. Just we're all in this together, and we got to figure it out. So let me ask you something. Is it smarter to consume less and live on bare minimum, and not have a high stream of income? Or is it smart to have a high stream of income and live paycheck to paycheck with like $150 you can save every week that you can throw towards an investment? Or let's say a starter goes out on your car, or you get in an accident, or someone backs in you in the parking lot, or you get really sick and you were sick for the week, so you lost your week, so now you're in the hole. You got to swipe your credit card for the month and hope you can pay your credit card at the end of the month, because the rent's always there, no matter if you're sick or not. If you're sick, you have to work. If you're not sick, you have to work, because the bills are just constantly coming. So like I said, you can do the things I do: wash your clothes in a 5-gallon bucket. You fill up a 5-gallon bucket full of water. You can get one of those portable hot water heaters that you just throw the suction thing down the tube into the bucket, and you could take a 5-gallon shower. I've did that for 5 years now. Saves a lot of water, saves money. You can get water at the store for $2 and quarters. Like I said, if you want to take the time to drive to the park, you can fill up a 5-gallon jug of water for free at the park. That eliminates $80 a month or $20 a week on your water bill right there. There are things that you can do, but does it make sense? That's the question I'm asking. Does any of this make any sense to anyone? Is this what we're here for? To be debt slaves, where we're constantly in debt to one another, having to rob Peter, pay Paul, do this, do that, just constantly just running, trying to get ahead, when in reality I've been working, and I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't worked no 40 hours a week. I ain't got time for it. I worked 90 hours a week. I work Saturday. I work Sunday. And I know that when I worked Sunday, that my Mondays were going to be a little easier, where I can take a half an hour to stop at 7-Eleven, get me a blueberry coffee for $2 and a blueberry muffin, stand in line, pay the cashier, go through all that. So I work every Sunday, at least every Sunday I could. And I will admit I slacked, where I decided to take the Sunday off. So I've slacked, but I work because I know work's got to get done, and I don't care about getting paid. I just know things have to keep going and keep getting done no matter what. If I get paid or not, I mean, like I'll take a nap in the car and wake up 7-8 hours later and just go to work and not even leave, just so I can save money on gas. I would just sleep in the parking lot in the car just to save money. Just all the things I had to do. Did any of those things make sense? Did they get me ahead in life? Did I make any money? Did I save any money? Was I investing? No. I was an idiot. I was going out to Arby's, spending $10, $12 at lunch every day at Arby's, when I could have made some rice with a little propane thing in my car and saved $5-10 a day right there. That's $70 a week. $60 a week that I could have invested and threw into some asset or something that appreciated in value, like gold, silver, Bitcoin, any one of these stocks. Just paying to have an account opened, just so you have an account for the ability to earn yield. Like we have to be earning yield constantly on our money. A high-yield savings account is not an investment. A 401k is not an investment. I mean, all these things aren't even keeping up with inflation. And if you don't believe me, I know a lot of people in their 50s and 60s with their 401ks, and they're like, man, I got $480,000 that I've got in my 401k from working for the past 20 years for this company. Well, let me ask you something. Is that smart? Is that worth it? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the generation before my generation that I knew, all of them had a second home. Even if it was just a trailer in South Florida, it was a second home. It was their vacation home. And they were 65 years old and retired. They would drive down to Florida to their vacation home and stay down there for the winter. And then when summer hits, they come back up north. And Our generation can't afford that. So these people with these 401ks, it's like, congratulations, you got 480,000 or whatever that you've been tucking away, throwing in high yield savings, 401k or whatever. But is that really an investment? Because you could have been actually investing in diversifying your portfolio in multiple assets, and I say gold and silver are a must-have for stability. Even Bitcoin, which is way better, but that's a whole nother video. Is any of this really worth it? Because I'm going to tell you right now that 480,000 or whatever, you go to pull that money out of your 401k, they're probably going to take 20% of that. So that leaves you with $390,000 or whatever. Can that get you your retirement plan? Can that get you a home, a second home, a vacation home? Can that money get you an investment property? Is that money? Are you betting your entire 30 years of your career on that? Money that you saw what happened from 2019, the prices of homes doubling. Did your 401k double from 2019? And if it did, what are you going to do about the 20% you got to pay when you take out on that? Is that yield enough for you to retire on? Can you retire on? And most of these people, I'm going to tell you right now, they're selling their home because they think the market's at the top. They're selling their home. They're taking that money and they're downsizing and they're buying a condo with cash or living in an apartment, or just they're downsizing their lifestyle just so they can keep up with inflation. There are these older people out there that they think they're doing so good because they sold their house for for triple and double what they paid for it. But let me ask you something. Is that house really worth anything more than what you paid for it? Because if you sell it, then you're downsizing your lifestyle. You have to go out and buy another house that's similar to it, or just hang out in a trailer for 5 years, hoping the economy collapses and the housing market goes down, just hoping, just betting on that, like gambling. Just so you can have a better life, to get a bigger house or whatever. And is a bigger house even worth it? Because I've watched houses that people I know personally, they paid $300,000-$400,000 for, and those houses are worth almost $2 million right now. And you could be like, yay, look at me, I made all this money because of my house is worth more. But everything costs more. So you can't retire in that house. You have to sell it because you don't have another option. Because I looked up the property tax. The property taxes are $30,000 a year. Like, what is that? That's over $10,000 a month or something in property taxes on a $2 million house. Your insurance has gone up. If you can even get insurance, they don't even insure some of these houses in these high-risk areas anymore, from hurricanes and tsunamis or forest fires or whatever. You can't even insure it. So you're just out of loss. What do people do? Like, how are you betting on these physical things? We've been programmed our whole life that a house is an investment, a house is an asset. But it's not. It's a home. A house is debt. Even if you paid it off cash, you're paying taxes. You're paying electric and water and bills and things that have gone up that cost more. Your food. When you go buy food at the store, it costs more. So unless you're getting paid all this extra money to keep up, you can't retire. You got to work till the day you die. You have to take that 50-year mortgage. Telling you guys, there's other options out there. There's other ways. It's not about how much you make. It's about what you do with it. Are you getting your 20% yield, your 20% APY? Are you actually getting yield on assets like let's say gold and silver, the price of gold and silver going up? Are you getting yield on that? Are you getting extra gold and extra silver by getting liquidity and leasing it out to people to collect more gold and silver to compound on top of that? You people really prepared for the things that have been changing at such a rapid rate? Because it took me a long time, like 10, 15 years just to learn this stuff. And they don't teach you it in college. You can't go to college to learn this. They don't teach you in high school. They don't teach you in school. They want you to work jobs that they want 14, 15, they want 16-year-old kids making your coffee for you for $10, $12 an hour, working a slave wage when they should be out studying and learning and educating themselves at a young age so they're prepared for the future and know the right and the wrong way of doing things. But this rant's going on too long. I'm at 25 minutes. I'll cover things in another video, and hopefully I can get this uploaded with my crap internet. And thank you for watching. If you're here that long, have a good day. Adios.